As you look over a 5-year time horizon, the next 5 years for Solana, what does Solana need to do?
You know the answer to that, and that's going to be increased bandwidth, reduced latency. Fundamentally, the thing that I like about Solana is that it has a focus. And so if you work on this concept of blockchain at NASDAQ speed, or really the actual vision, which is harder to convey, is it's a bunch of computers with the performance of one computer, right? Which is kind of hard for some people to understand, but that's the idea. And the reason that's important is because with a system like that, you eliminate a lot of inefficiency in the world and in finance and commerce. The other day, I was sending money to Japan from my Canadian bank, and the amount of hops, the time, and all these things that it took to get there was just crazy. And like this is 2025 at this point. Fundamentally, I'm sure people have different views on this, but I think capitalism is like roughly the greatest human concept that was created. Obviously, it has its downsides, but like for the most part, it has basically resulted in everything good in terms of tech companies and innovation and progress and accelerationism that we've seen in the world. And I think basically, and by the way, Pat McCormick, I don't know what he does now, but he's an author, but he was at Andreessen. He has a good post on this about like crypto is basically capitalism supercharged, or not supercharged. I think you use a less cringe word, like the end state of it, or something like that. And I totally agree. I think basically crypto is like a tech that improves or evolves capitalism because it fixes many of the things wrong with it, like the weird take rates, the non-transparency. I don't think it does all those today, by the way. Like obviously there's still some pretty sketchy shit that happens, but like that's why we work on it, right? If it was perfect, we need to work on it. And so the idea is that you make this giant system of capitalism that's on the internet efficient, fair, fast, and scalable to as many people as possible. And you give all the people with ideas capital. So that's where internet capital markets comes from, right? Founders, apps, tokens, and everything has a market. And we've seen that markets are better at certain things than humans, maybe like predictions, for example. That's what I like about Solana. And that's why I work on it, because I think it fundamentally accelerates capitalism, which if you accelerate capitalism in the correct way, without corporatism, let's say, then I think you end up in a much better spot. And I think that's pretty important to work on. And so what that means concretely is, the boring stuff. You need to make the internet faster, which is double zero. You need to increase block space. You need to eliminate or reduce or democratize malicious MEV. You need to reduce latency. You need to have decentralization. It needs to be secure. It needs to be unstoppable. All these different fun things that are kind of tactical steps on the way to get there.